What's up, Valorant fans? Welcome back to the Valorant Report, my IHOLDSHIFT. We've got a lot to talk about. A lot of Valorant this weekend, a lot of competitiveness going on throughout North America and Europe. And we're going to start with what happened in Europe, since this was a little bit of a lengthier style of tournament that was going on because there were 8 teams that were starting from round number 1. Starting things off, we'll take a look at G2 versus Party Parrots and Prodigy versus Fabricant, and what was our first round of the winner's bracket. Again, best of 3, double elimination. And for G2 versus Party Parrots, a little bit of a scare early, as Party Parrots were able to take Haven 13-5. And well, that would be just about all they take for the rest of the series. Ascent and Split would go 13-4, 13-5 for G2 as they get past the first round 2-1. In the Prodigy versus Fabricant matchup, though, I think a lot of people were anticipating this one to be a little bit closer. Fabricant has showcased that they very well can compete with the very top if they're not already in the conversation for being maybe a top 5, top 3 team in Europe. But Prodigy would put them down. Again, a couple of mixed elements as Hip is in this team, plus 2 members from Ninjas in Pajamas. But it'd be a 13-6 on both Split and Bind, as Power would have an incredible series. Absolutely mammoth work was done for him from the Prodigy squad. No problem for their 2-0. So dropping down to the losers semifinals, Party Parrots would play up against Fabricant, and then in the winners finals we'll have G2 and Prodigy to talk about. Starting in the losers semis first, Party Parrots come out again looking good in the first map, but this time on Split. Able to take a 13-11, but then from there for Fabricant, Shadow would show up in map 2 and map 3, giving Fabricant just enough gas to get past the Parrots. 13-9 on Bind, 13-11 on Ascent. In the winners finals, though, G2 versus Prodigy, you might think that based on what Prodigy was able to do versus Fabricant in their winners semifinal, that maybe they would have a chance here versus G2. Well, Mixwell and Petatek had a different mindset completely, as they would have an incredible series. 13-8 on Bind, 13-7 on Haven. G2 into the grand finals. Prodigy rematch versus Fabricant, and this time it would be the set that I think we all thought it was going to be. Fabricant starting off nice on Split with a 13-7 win, but everything from there would be completely contested, and heartbreak would loom as Fabricant would not be able to close out Ascent. 13-11, and then on Bind, round 25, the overtime would go the way of Prodigy. Zippin would drop 27 kills for Fabricant for the L. Definitely unfortunate for Fabricant, super disappointing, but still an incredible showcase for them. Very impressive to say the least. So getting back into the grand finals, G2 would get a 1-map advantage in a best of 5, in which it would not need to go very far. Haven again looking solid this time around for Prodigy as they start off nicely with the 13-7, but from there on out, Artis and Mixwell were insane. Pretty much throughout the entirety of the day, both of those guys were absolutely insane. Artis in this one was just short of 20 kills in the first 2 maps. He dropped 25 in the third. It was the 13-4 for map 2 on Ascent, 13-8 for Split for G2. They will be your champions of the EU Vitality Open Ignition Series. And of course, things to look forward to in Europe, as the We Play Invitational will also be going on this upcoming weekend. Expect to see more videos kind of framing that up and recapping the action as we get through the week. Going over to North America, though, with the Pulse Invitational, we had our final 4 remaining. This was a single elimination, still best of 3. And we'd start things off with Cloud9 versus Together We Are Terrific. And Cloud9, they looked good, and they played during the 100 Thieves Invitational. They looked good in groups. They would look good here. 13-7 on Ascent, 13-3 on Split for the 2-0 for C9, as Tens continues to roll, as no one seems to have an answer for him, at least not on that Together We Are Terrific team yet. Over to Gen.G versus Sentinels. This one, absolutely worth going back and rewatching. Player 1 would have an incredible map number 1 on Bind, in which Gen.G take the overtime round 25. But from there, it was GMD and Mikhail who really were the solid components of the Gen.G squad throughout. They would not win Ascent. Sentinels taking that one 13-8, and they looked good on Ascent, to be fair. But on Haven, 13-10. Gen.G able to surpass and make their way into the grand finals versus Cloud9. And this one, well, you thought that maybe Cloud9 would be able to find themselves a championship, but I said it and I meant it. In that initial matchup of Gen.G versus the Charlotte Phoenix, there was a dark horse looming in that matchup, and Gen.G, they would come to the light. 13-8 for Gen.G on Bind, 13-7 for Gen.G on Ascent. GMD, Effie's leading the KD, but Quinn had multiple insane clutch moments throughout this series. A very fun one to watch, a lot of pop-off moments for a number of players for the side of Gen.G. and Cloud9 will come up just a touch short. There was also a third place matchup that was played, important to note. Sentinels and Together Terrific did play for a third. It was a 13-6 on Ascent and a 13-4 on Haven, in which Sentinels were able to take. So, to kind of conclude things through, we've seen two incredible performances for Cloud9 over the last couple of weekends. Together We Are Terrific, even though they finished second at the 100 Thieves charity event, would finish fourth here. Sentinels able to get past Immortals, find themselves a third place finish, but Gen.G is the new team on the block that definitely deserves our attention, as they may not have had the most convincing good or bad finishes when they've played in the past, but now all of a sudden with this championship under their belt, definitely feeling some favors. Now we've got a pretty decent sample size, at least in North America, to kind of look at who the top teams currently are based on invitation and qualifiers that we've seen out of what I guess we'll call the open scene. I don't really know what to say. But over in Europe, we're going to be able to get to that point after next weekend. As the We Play Invitational, we'll see teams like NIP, we'll see teams like Fish123, as well as, of course, G2. So make sure you're tuning in for that, and make sure you're subscribing along right here if you want to see more recap content, a couple of prediction content, maybe some roster move content, everything that you want for Valorant Competitive. I'll try to do my best to cover for you guys as we move forward, as the Valorant esports scene continues to develop. Hope you enjoyed the video, and again, make sure you subscribe on your way out, like if you liked the video, and hopefully we'll catch you back here next time for the next one. Until then, though, hope you keep holding it down. Later. Bye-bye.